And what they're doing now is they're creating a master database that has your education records, health records, tax records, the Treasury Department's records, and they're going to be in one giant searchable database for this administration with a $150 billion budget for ICE that wants to take citizenship from people that criticize Israel. And that's what people voted for when they voted for Trump.
How's it going, my BPPN family? We got something we need to talk about. I don't know if you're paying attention right now, but there's a lot happening. They're talking about doing a searchable system containing your education records, your health records, your tax records, and your treasury data. That's not some crazy idea. This is actually being proposed in real contracts and budgets. So when you centralize the data at scale, you change the relationship between the citizen and the state. That's happening now.
We have serious news right now that everyone needs to know about. Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, is pressuring Anthropic, an AI company, to allow the Secretary of Defense to use Anthropic's products to conduct mass domestic surveillance of American citizens, along with, quote, kinetic autonomous operations without human oversight, essentially killing people on the battlefield without any human oversight. And according to Fox News, if they don't agree to this, then Hegseth and the Defense Department could censure them or label them a supply chain threat.
Mir, the war against the machines.
This is from Jennifer Griffin today. She says that Secretary Hegseth gave the head of Anthropic an ultimatum. The ultimatum essentially would require the Pentagon to be allowed to use Anthropic's AI model for mass domestic surveillance and kinetic autonomous operations without human oversight or face censure and label supply chain threat. Now, right now, Anthropic has two stipulations. The first is that it would never be used for autonomous kinetic operations. Essentially, Anthropic right now requires human oversight when they use AI models to kill things for safety reasons, because otherwise the model could lose control and automatically start killing large groups without humans in the kill chain. Second, Anthropic bars its model from being used for mass domestic surveillance. Hegseth wants these restrictions lifted. I really don't think enough people are talking about this.
So they're talking about the safeguards, removing the safeguards on AI. They want to remove them. Those same safeguards are the ones that require human oversight before lethal force. Those safeguards that restrict mass domestic surveillance. That conversation alone should dominate the national discourse. Instead, it's not even being talked about. It's barely trending. So right now there's a military escalation in Iran. Before that, a bunch of talk about the aliens and all the speculation surrounding it. And at that same time, the Epstein files came out, and all of a sudden they're trying to do anything they can to take your attention away from it. Those names appeared, and now there's silence. You don't even get the whole files. But let's start a war over here. Let's talk about some alien. Are you kidding me, bro? The cycle keeps turning, and while the cycle turns, the infrastructure moves. There's not going to be any urgency in the headlines. They're just going to do it.
I am terribly sad to record this. I believe that millions of white-collar workers are going to lose their jobs in the next 12 to 18 months due to AI. AI is now able to do the work of a very, very smart human in minutes or even seconds. This is going to displace marketers, coders, designers, lawyers, accountants, call center workers, you name it. The result of this is going to be an ever more extreme winner-take-all economy where the top 20% or so are able to thrive, and then the bottom 80% are left behind. And when people lose their jobs, it affects dry cleaners, dog walkers, hairstylists, restaurants, all local businesses that see less people who are able to spend. Personal bankruptcies are going to surge. College graduates are going to have a very difficult time finding entry-level jobs. People are going to be very, very angry by the fact that this path to middle-class status and social mobility is going to be broken. The AI job apocalypse is real, and it's underway right now.
So the millions of white-collar jobs potentially displaced in a year or two. So that changes the labor market permanently. It changes who has leverage. It changes who negotiates from strength. Now combine that with the centralized data systems and expanded surveillance authority. This is about structural power. It's not even in the headline.
What to do about mass unemployment? This is going to be a massive social challenge. I think ultimately we will have to have some kind of universal basic income. I don't think we're going to have a choice. I think it's going to be necessary.
So it means that unemployed people will be paid across the globe.
Yeah.
Because there is no job, machine, robot is taking over.
There will be fewer and fewer jobs that a robot cannot do better.
I think by if you say like 2040, probably there are more humanoid robots than there are people.
So anywhere of 10 billion. Yeah.
Yes.
And your price point on these humanoid robots?
Yeah, the price point will be, I think, quite low. Probably $25,000 for a robot that can do anything.
10 billion humanoid robots, $20,000 to $25,000 each. That's a labor replacement model. That is a economic reshaping at scale. This isn't science fiction pacing. This is venture capital pacing. And it's unfolding while the public attention is jumping from one spectacle to the next. Aliens, wars, anything to do with something outside of releasing them Epstein files, bro. We didn't forget what is going on. You got 3 million records that haven't been shown yet, and this dude is still out here trying to make decisions. Somebody get this guy. What are we doing? I want to take a step back and look at that pattern calmly. See, the war dominates your emotions. The alien conversation is going to dominate the curiosity. The scandals flare up and they cool down. Meanwhile, AI contracts are expanding at a rapid rate. The budgets are expanding. The data centralizes. The autonomy increases, and there aren't any fireworks. Just steady advancement. You don't need dramatic music to see the trajectory. You just need to stop scrolling long enough to notice it. We've seen this before. There's a whole movie about this. Several movies. We're going right to it like, yeah, all right, let's make this happen. No! We're just going to scale the infrastructure embeds so nothing can be changed later on. See, the policy solidifies. The louder stories change weekly. The structural changes don't. See, if the attention is always pointed outward at the spectacle, at the moment, the architecture is going to be built underneath, and it's rarely going to receive any type of scrutiny. See, it's going to outlast the outrage cycles. It's going to define the boundaries of freedom more than any headline ever existed. That's what's happening behind the scenes. They're trying to replace you because they don't care about you. It's all about the dollar. It's always been about the dollar in this country. And eventually, when you find out they don't need you anymore, it'll be a little too late. Stay vigilant. Stay engaged. Stay revolutionary.